Hi, welcome back. In this session, we will be exploring how to create a Spring Boot simple REST endpoint application, and along with that, we will also see how to add logging. As you know, in a real-time application, we will be needing logging. We need to enable logging to troubleshoot or debug any specific piece of code if it is not working as per the expectation. So I'm just in the Spring initializer, that is start.spring.io. I'm just giving the group as double line. You can select the as a Maven project as the build tool, and you can have Java, and it is selected as 2.4.1, the Spring Boot version. As already known, the Spring Boot version and the Spring version both are different. Okay. So let me try to generate, and before generating, I need to add the dependency web because I want to develop a sample REST endpoint. And for logging, you have inbuilt support. There is no necessity to add any other starter package. So let me go ahead and generate the package. Let me generate the project. It will be downloaded as a zip file, as you see here. So let me try to extract it. It will be in the downloads. Let me extract and import it. So I'm extracting to this folder demo double nine. Now let me go to the STS tool, that is STS ID Spring Tool Suite. It is also a flavor of an Eclipse. Okay, so let me go ahead and import the project which is being created by Spring Initializer. So it is an existing Maven project, so select the existing Maven project. In case you are not able to find, just type for Maven here, so you'll get all the Maven related things, so you can select the existing Maven projects. Now let me try to go to the downloads, and the folder is demo 99. Yes, I can find it here. So I'm importing it. Give it few seconds to a minute because it has to download all the dependencies from the Maven central repository. Right. Meanwhile, let me brief you what are the steps required to add logging to your Spring Boot application. Okay. See, as it is detailed here, also I'll be attaching this document in this specific lecture. So let us just try to go through what are the steps involved in enabling the logging. So the first and foremost is you need to import these couple of packages, these couple of classes, or you can import as import org.slf4j.star. Okay, right. SLF4j stands for Simple Logging Framework 4j, which is available inbuilt in the Spring Boot. Next thing is, in the class, let it be any class. Let it be the Spring Boot application class, or let it be a REST controller, let it be a service component, whichever. Go to the class, and in the data member, you add this specific line. And ensure that you change the name of this class as the one where you copied. Say, for example, you copy this to XYZ controller, a class named XYZ controller. So replace this my application with the XYZ controller. Fine. That is one thing. Next, wherever it is appropriate, wherever you want to put the logs. Okay. So see, this is the logger. So you can say logger dot and whichever level you need. Okay. If it is just for information purpose, then you can display it like this. And by the way, you can also add additional arguments here, whichever data you want to print. And okay. So you can do that as well. See, the different levels which are available here is error, warn, info, debug, and trace. So these are the different levels available. Okay. Right. By default, the level, and you can also set the level of the logging by going to the application.properties. You can go and set the level of logging which you want. Okay, right? By default, it will be, as I specified here, it will be info. That means whichever you specify info and above that, you will be getting in the output. Okay, for any reason you want to set it specifically, you need to say like logging dot level dot the name of the package which you want to adjust the logging level, so you can set it up to the appropriate layer. If you set trace, then you will be getting all the logging levels. So generally in development we put it as trace or debug or whichever, and eventually when it goes to the later stages of testing, you will try to reduce these levels, and finally in the production you may keep it as one initially, and eventually once the product is stabilized, then you will try to make it as error. Fine. And one more thing is, see, here the logs will basically appear in the console, but in the production, there will not be anybody in the console who will be checking that logs. So you may need to put it into your file. So you can select the name of the path or name of the file like this, so that the logs are automatically getting saved onto that. Fine. So now let's explore it. By this time, it would have imported the project. Now the project is almost imported. So let us try to open that, and yes, this is the project. So let me try to add a REST controller to this. So it is a class file. Let us add it. I'll name it as my controller. So the class is created. So let us just expose a simple REST endpoint here. So I'm going to annotate this with @REST controller. Then let me fix the compiler errors after a few seconds. Right. So here I'm just going to return some hello world. Okay, let me name the method as method. Right. So here what I'm going to do is, let me expose it as a get REST endpoint. I'm just fixing the compiler errors. So it is just by adding the appropriate imports. Now let me return here, return hello world. Right. Now I'll just try to run it, but before I run it, let me set the custom port on my system. Okay, 8080 is occupied, which is the default server port. So let me set it to server.port equal to, I'm going to set it to 9664. Okay, let me run it. Once it is working fine, then we will add the logging for this project. The application is booted. Okay, so I'm going to go to the browser and give localhost and 9664. Okay, local host 9664 is the port number we give, and we didn't give any sub URL, so we got the hello world. Fine. Now let's try to add logging to this functionality, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow the steps here. So the first and foremost step is let's import these two classes in our. See, now I want to add a REST endpoint to the REST controller class. So let me go ahead and give the imports here. So I'm done with the first step. The next step is I need to add a data member. Basically here I'm getting the instance of the logger from the logger factory. So I'll be adding this as a data member to this. And as I already said, we need to specify the class name as this one here. So I'm done with this. So basically here we are using logger factory to get the instance of logger. So thereby I can use logger wherever required to print the logs to the console or to the log file. Right. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to just print some info log here just to verify that it's getting printed. Also, as specified here, you can add any number of arguments of any type, so which will also get printed along with this log. So I just added this. Now let me try to just restart it. It will automatically restart in case you add dev tools to your form.xml. Since we didn't add, let's try to manually restart it. Okay. So I'm just starting this application. And after that, I need to hit this REST endpoint. Then only I can see this because I kept this log in this specific flow. It's not only in the REST controller, you can add in any of the Spring Boot components, let it be in a service or let it be in a repository or wherever required, even in the Spring Boot application, wherever you have the main method. So let it be anywhere. And here, just for testing purpose, I had kept it as info. You can keep it to any different levels. Let it be error or warning or trace or debug, whichever. So let me try to hit this REST endpoint and see if this log gets printed in the console or not. So I have hit the REST endpoint. As you see here, we are able to see this output here in the logs. So we are able to see this in the logs. Next, one more point is, as specified in the document, you can set the logging level as you need. Okay. So what we are going to do is, so let us take this configuration property and let us adjust the logging level. See here, you need to specify which is the specific package to which you want to adjust the logging level. So it is our package and the name of it is com.eg. As you see here, com.eg 99.demo99. And I want to keep it to the level. See, right, as already known, by default it will be info. So for whichever reason, I want only until warning. Okay. Now let us see if we will be getting this log printed. The expectation is this log shouldn't be printed because we adjusted the logging level to warm. So as we see in the output here, we do not see any log. The reason is the logging level. So let's try to just keep it back. You can try to play around with that just by keeping it back to info, okay, which is the default level. So let us just try to make it as info and rerun the application. Now let's try to hit the REST endpoint again. As you see here, you can see the log again because we adjusted the info. So that is one thing. And as we see in the document here, this is the order in which the level, okay. See, earlier we kept warn. That means we will be getting only the warning and error. If you give info, then you will get info, warn as well as error. So you need to adjust the logging level as per your requirement and based on whether it is in the testing phase or production or development, whichever. So the next important thing is you can get the logs printed to a specific file instead of the console. Okay, so let us try to achieve that. So I want to print it to some folder named remove me, and I want to have it into the some application 9.log. Yes, here there is a small improvement. Actually, in the later versions of Spring Boot, instead of logging.file, so you need to specify it as a path here. So what happens is it creates this folder if it is not existing, and inside that it will put the logs which are generated. So when we try to run the application, so it inside the path that is remove me application 9.log. So there is a log file which got created as you see here. Fine. So now let me try to hit the REST endpoints and let me go back and see if that log gets appended to this. Yes, as you see here, the log got appended. Okay. So this is the way how we can set the logging level, the log file path, and the related details in a Spring Boot application. I'm also uploading this source code example for your reference and the document which we were referring. Thank you.